So the next thing I'm going to do is apply lashes. I put on mascara, so I actually have eyelashes now, right? If you aren't going to do fake lashes, I usually do like 2 or 3 coats of mascara. And I like to curl my lashes in between every coat, so you want to like give it a little bit to dry and then you can put on more. But if I do fake lashes, I usually just do like 1 coat on there, and then sometimes I'll go back and add more to blend them in. But just know the more mascara you're putting on your lashes, the more makeup is getting on them, right? And if you have to reuse them for a show, you might want to think about not loading them up too much with mascara, just because you can always pull the glue off, but it gets a little bit tricky after a while to always clean the mascara off. So me personally, I like to use lash glue that's in a tube. I know that you can get like the paint on ones, but for me, I feel like they dry out really quickly. And I don't wear lashes that often, so I prefer to have the tube just because I feel like it actually lasts the entire time that the expiration date says. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the glue to the lash. So these are just some random lashes that I had, so we're going to see how they work. So I like to use a different applicator. I don't like to use the tube directly. I think it's more sanitary this way, but I also just think it's easier because I know that I am not skilled enough to just squeeze the tube out usually and have it not like explode everywhere. So if you're using Duo usually takes a second to dry. So if I just tried to like pop this on my eye, it is not going to want to stick because it's just not tacky enough. So if it's your own personal lash, people will like blow on them. It's really more sanitary if you just kind of like fan it off, or if you like, you know, go like this, have a casual conversation, whatever it is. But it's going to start to turn clear when it is ready to be adhered. So once it's at that point, you can kind of pop it on. So lashes can be a little bit tricky if you've never put them on. So with lashes, and especially when you're putting them on yourself, I feel like I try to get it into like the center of my eye first, and then I kind of adjust it from there. It's one of those things that the more you do it, the easier it's going to get, but it's definitely tricky at first. So if it's something you want to learn, I recommend like don't go out and buy like the super expensive lashes to practice with. I would get like the elf lashes or something, and just work with those so that way you're not spending a ton of money if you do mess them up. So I'm going to go ahead and give this like a little bit more time to dry, and then we can put it on. So I'm using the white glue that turns clear, so usually you're going to either be able to get one that's like that, or there's going to be a black one. It's really just like personal preference. If I was wearing super heavy eyeliner, super heavy eye makeup, a lot of times I would maybe go with the black, but I usually personally I just use the clear, but a lot of times people like to use the darker one, so really like that's kind of like a personal preference thing, but they will both work in the same way. One thing that you need to be conscious of are latex allergies. So if somebody is allergic to latex, they cannot use an eyelash glue that does not say it is latex free, because most eyelash glues have a latex base, right? So you need to make sure that you know if someone is allergic to latex or not, which might be something that somebody could be thrown off by if you're not doing like a special effects like makeup or something, but you really need to make sure that they're not allergic to it, because you really don't need to put a bunch of latex by somebody's eye, right, if they are allergic. So now that this is starting to set up a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and put this on, and we'll see how this goes filming it, right? So you're definitely going to need to be a little bit closer to your face to do it. And like I said, I usually just try to like line it up, and then I kind of move it around from there. And then so before you do it, you need to make sure that it fits on your eye, because if it is too big, it's going to be a little bit trickier to kind of get on. And you want to get it as close to your lashes, like your natural lashes, as possible. So this would be one of those times where probably having the black tinted glue might be a little bit better. But usually I feel like regardless, you do have to go back and touch up your liner just a little bit. So if it's yourself, you know, getting eyelash glue in your eye, not the end of the world. If it's someone else, probably don't want to do that. You can see, so all that will dry, but I'm still going to try to get a little of it off, because that's kind of too much glue probably that I put on there. But I do still like to put my liner on first, because I also feel like that kind of gives me like a guide. And yeah, so I've never worn these lashes before, so we're gonna see how this goes. So if you do have like a little bit too much glue, I'm gonna take like a little Q-tip, or if you have like disposable eyeliner applicators or something, and I'm gonna try to just like get some of that off, just so that way I don't have to wait ages and ages for it to dry. And then I can just go back over it, and that's when if you have like a liquid liner or a cream liner, it's gonna be a little bit easier to paint back over it, but I can still take my powder one and do that too. And then I'll go ahead and like kind of curl everything together, and we'll see how this one goes, and then I will put on my other one and check back in.